All right, guys, this is Mrs. Lamb, and I am going to talk to you today about developing your campaign plan for your candidate. So, a campaign plan provides a structure for deploying limited time and financial resources. This is the campaign's plan of attack that will be followed by the candidate and staff. It spells out the goals and overall strategy of the campaign, and it includes staffing, timelines, scheduling, fundraising, budget, and media strategies. Some campaigns prepare a written campaign plan that is made available in edited form to the public. The plan answers the general questions. So, the general questions: what are our goals in this campaign? What is our strategy for reaching the goals? What will it cost to reach our goals? How will we budget campaign funds? What is our timeline for reaching our goals? And how will we schedule our candidates' time in order to reach our goals? So, the planning process. The planning process allows candidates to reflect upon the ways in which money will be raised and spent and on the means the candidate is willing to use in order to get elected. Will the candidate accept funds from locally unpopular interest groups or political action committees? Will the candidate participate in debates? Will the candidate divulge personal information? These are all questions the candidate answers in the planning process. So, developing the message, image, and presentation of the campaign. In order to get elected, candidates need to send the right message to the right audience using the most time and energy and money efficient medium possible. So, the candidate needs a clear and concise message that is repeated often. This message should resonate with the voters and strike a chord that voters are passionate about. The message needs to be consistent and easy to articulate. So this should be something that voters can remember easily. This should be something that catches the eye as far as the look of the campaign literature. And it needs to be easy to understand for everybody. Candidates themselves also need an image. So you can see that I've attached some pictures here of the 4 presidential candidates for this current race. And voters are likely to support a candidate who creates an emotional link with the public, even if they don't agree with all the candidates' political beliefs and goals. John Kennedy, pictured down here in the bottom right corner of my slide, he made Americans feel as if they had sophisticated backgrounds, Boston accents, Ivy League educations, and vision. The public enjoyed by association that image of America. So really what the candidate looks like and how they dress really does matter in public perception of that candidate. The most rudimentary stage of creating an image requires the candidate and staff to develop campaign literature that repeats the candidate's name and the office he or she is running for. Name face recognition with the office is paramount to getting elected. So it's really important that people recognize the candidate's face. Direct mail, radio, and television advertisements, lawn signs, newspaper advertisements, and canvassing, which is basically where supporters of that candidate, volunteers typically, they go around neighborhoods and they knock on people's doors and they try to talk to them about the candidate and try to get support for that particular candidate. So these are all strategies used to promote name face recognition. So here's one example of a candidate that had run for county council. And so you can see on here the image of the candidate is shown. The candidate is shown, in a nice suit and tie. It's a nice picture of the candidate. You wouldn't believe the amount of money they spend just to get the right picture. Also, you can see some quotes from the candidate and how he believes in keeping taxes low as possible and managing growth, responsibility, and protecting our quality of life, et cetera, et cetera. You could read the rest yourself. You can also see on the right side where not only does it say Robert Hodge, and it's his last name really large so that will stick with you, says what he's running for, Cecil County Council. And then it says basically what he's going to stand firm and work hard to do. And so you'll notice how it's bullet pointed. They're hoping that this stands out to you, that you could maybe remember some of this. And then you can see at the bottom, phone numbers, email address, website that you can go to for more information. So that would be an example of a mailer sent to people's homes. Here's another example of a mailer. So this is Rob Kaufman. And this one, it talks on the top how he's the state representative. And so he is, obviously running again. But also you can see that it's a picture of him with his family, and this is a family man, and doesn't he look like just the nicest guy in the world? And look at his cute kids and his nice looking family, and they all look so happy. And it talks about, husband, father, taxpayer, lifelong resident. So he's trying to strike an emotional chord with the voters with that kind of a picture and with that kind of a caption. Showing that he's Mr. Nice Guy, and he's a family man, and that's who you want in office. And then of course you can see the things that he that describe this candidate in more detail in words on the mailer. Okay, so here's another one. In developing the message and presentation of the campaign, candidates and their staff must reflect on the proportion of negative to positive campaigning. Candidates and their staff must decide how much of their resources they will devote to convincing voters of the good their candidate can do, so that's positive campaigning, and convincing voters of the harm their opponent or opponents can do, and that's called negative campaigning. So I have a couple of examples of negative mailers that you might see. So here's one talking about David Larson, hypocrite. And you'll notice that, the name is pretty bold, but the word hypocrite is very bold. So obviously David Larson did not put out this mailer. This was put out by, his competitor in this, so his opponent. And it talks about all of the bad things Larson has done or is accused of doing or not doing. And, anyway, you can read it yourself and see. So really the big idea here is to vote no to David Larson. Okay, so that's a negative ad there. Here's another one. This one's kind of funny. It's saying this guy's a liar, obviously. So this Congressman Harry Mitchell, this is a mailer. You can tell because there's an address at the bottom and everything, but they're saying liar, liar, pants on fire, which is actually kind of hilarious. And this one's kind of an immature ad, but hilarious at the same time. So anyway, apparently this guy was not truthful with his constituents. So that is what I wanted to teach you today about the campaign plan and image. That is all I have for you.